and of course the NBA is still on a mission to kind of like, get viewership back. You got the NFL that's pretty much just stolen Christmas from the Grinch who stole Christmas. That's the NFL.
Yeah, that was tough.
That's 2 years in a row, and that's it's by the NFL, but also it's like, hey, what can you do? Be better.
I've always had an issue that basketball, which is essentially a simple game, is played so many different ways from a fundamental rules standpoint, not stylistically. College, you have the 2 20-minute halves, and you have the three-point line at a certain place. FIBA, you've got 4 10-minute quarters and the three-point line somewhere else in the trapezoidal lane. The NBA, you have 48-minute games with a completely different line for three-point shots and no trapezoid lane. It's like there's no reason that the rules of basketball at the college and above level should not be uniform.
I thought this was interesting here. Adam Silver is pro shorter games, okay? The 10-minute quarters, as you said, that's kind of how the EuroLeague is set up.
Yeah,
right?
FIBA basketball is the 10-minute quarters. That's what we saw in the Olympics.
Yeah.
For those that watch that.
And of course the NBA is still on a mission to kind of like, get viewership back. You got the NFL that's pretty much just stolen Christmas from the Grinch who stole Christmas. That's the NFL.
Yeah, that was tough.
That's 2 years in a row, and that's shitty. It's a shitty move by the NFL, but also it's like, hey, what can you do? Be better.
Yeah.
So the NBA is looking at different ways to change things and do different things. How do you like this idea?
I've always had an issue that basketball, which is essentially a simple game, is played so many different ways from a fundamental rules standpoint, not stylistically. College, you have the 2 20-minute halves, and you have the three-point line at a certain place. FIBA, you've got 4 10-minute quarters and the three-point line somewhere else in the trapezoidal lane. The NBA, you have 48-minute games with a completely different line for three-point shots and no trapezoid lane. It's like there's no reason that the rules of basketball at the college and above level should not be uniform.
Right.
It just does not make sense to me. It's just somebody being stubborn over the way we're going to do things. And I think that's idiotic. The value of the 10-minute quarter game is that will put you in a 2-hour window of performance.
Yeah.
Which is very manageable. When you watch some of the NBA games now, you got like the 8 o'clock start, and depending on the flow of that game, sometimes that's not finishing until 10:30 or 10:40, and sometimes it's encroaching on the 10:30 tip, and it's not clean. It's something that needs to be addressed, and I think that's certainly a way to do it. It's also another way to low key reduce wear and tear on players. Now, one of the things you could say is, well, hey, with 48 minutes, more teams are going to use their bench guys more or this or that. But the reality is, like, instead of, starters may end up playing in the high 20s, maybe 30 minutes, and you're still going to sub and play different guys. And it might, kind of prolong some careers, maybe reduce injury rate a little bit. Not 100% sure on how all that'll play out. But I am attracted by the 2-hour window to play the game.
Tibbs will play his guys all 40 minutes.
He'll go 40. You guys played 40 and 48. Now you'll just play 40.
Now you just play 40.
Yeah, we're not even going to pay some of these guys in the bench. They're going to play them on contracts like per minute played, which will be 0.
No. Yeah, and another thing too is because, like you said, that was one of his when on this thing he says he explains why he's a fan. That's one of the reasons, right? That because it's a cleaner, 40 minutes. I'm sorry,
2-hour game.
2-hour game, because now they are averaging about 216, 217 over the cross. But of course, like you said, that's an average. Sometimes they go to 230, 235, whatever, and that's a problem. Okay. And about prolonging careers, we'll see less Bronny. And everything will be everything will be good,
great.
Man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like this. I don't particularly like this change.
Well, the one thing that'll suffer is statistics.
records, stats.
Yeah, statistics and records.
Now,
So
you're not a big stats guy,
Yeah, I'm not.
and
I'm
I
not.
am.
Yeah. So
We'll really never see a 100-point game then.
Oh hell no. No.
And and just all time scoring and all the stats will be impacted. I don't like that.
But it's all. I mean, it's also like I remember when I went to the Daytona 500 a couple years ago. Like the first 10 or 15 laps was kind of cool because it was just the spectacle of the cars, and then you went for about 150 laps of just nothingness. The cars are just circulating around. It's kind of boring. And then in the last 15 or 20 laps, it got really interesting again because now you're going to see guys race for the win. In a basketball game, like you check a matchup, you watch the first quarter. A lot of times, like the second and third quarters, they just kind of drag on. And are we gonna be close enough going into the fourth that this is a competitive game, or is the margin gonna be bad enough that coaches kind of throw up the white flag and call it a day? But in a 40-minute game, it kind of compresses all that, and it probably ensures for a high rate of close competitive games in that fourth quarter segment.
Yeah, it'd be 100. So what do you like? If it had to be one or the other, would you be a fan of turning the minutes down on the game, or turning the games down on the season, the amount of games?
Turn the minutes down.
Okay.
Play 82 40-minute games.
Mm.
I'd rather see that, yeah.
Yeah, you rather see that?
Oh, yeah. And it's way more palatable economically because you still have the product.
Yeah. It's not going to impact really, financially as far as
as far as that
you
goes.
turn games down now. You gotta redo your TV deals and all of that.
Yeah, and your ticket revenue.
Yeah, and ticket
if
revenue.
If you cut it to like 70 games, you have 35 home games instead of 41.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easier, cleaner. Before we get off, we have the Knicks beat the Nuggets, man.
Nuggets have dropped a lot of games.
Yeah. Maybe they're taking it like Boston, where it's like, we'll be there in the playoffs anyhow.
We'll turn up in the playoffs.
Yeah. Once again, Towns, what a great defense. I didn't watch, of course we didn't watch the game, but from the stat line, I mean, he held Jokic to 17 points, bad shooting, 6 assists, 6 rebounds.
Oh my.
Yeah. Towns, man, he's the Jokic stopper. Shout out to Towns. None of these other the games mean anything. Minnesota is playing in Phoenix tonight. Phoenix is up by a couple now. Second quarter. I like you said, the Booker thing is going to be interesting, man, because Devin Booker, he's like they have this team, but if they disappoint another year or two, they really got to look to just fucking go and like reset the whole thing because Durant is old.
Like you always have this notion of like another year or two. I just have like a lot of impatience about a career. Even like an established guy, it's like why am I if this is dysfunction, if I'm showing up every day to the facility and this is just dysfunction, like why the hell do I want to be here another game?
Yeah,
like,
it's not. I don't want to say dysfunction. They just losing a lot. They did have a small dysfunction with the coach. They got rid of the coach, but it's just losing.
When I wasn't talking about necessarily like soap opera type dysfunction.
Oh, okay.
But just if I'm not in a winning situation, if that, if we're just showing up and getting our ass beat on a roster that's just not balanced and can't win, like what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like my prime's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
I've got to get somewhere where I can show out and play.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%.
But yeah, I mean, again, you say another year or two. It's like, what? That's a whole fucking year. That's another like 48 losses on my lifetime record. That's not good.
No, it's not good at all. Not good at all. And apparently Wemby charged at Zubac.
Charged him? Fight style?
Yeah, Zubac shoved him, and then he came after him, but he didn't do anything, so he didn't get ejected or anything.
Okay.
Neither guy.
Cooler heads prevailed.
Yeah, they got a tag. Yeah, but that's
why not charge at Zubac?
Yeah, Zubac.
Yeah. What do you call him?
He's a botch.
What do you call him?
No, I don't know. Zubac.
I thought I said that. Then you made it sound like I said something different.
Yeah, like a botch, like a bitch, like Zubit, like but instead of that, Zubac.
I'd be calling him that too.
Zubiach.
I'm coming for you, Zubich. I'm gonna make a Wemby charge at you.
Oh man, James Harden is he's doing his same thing, Regular season, he has those guys in the 6, 7 seed right now. Less, the roster is not as good. Kawhi plays here and there, mostly there, and but he's doing his thing, and I'm sure in the playoffs he'll show you why he's James Harden. It's nuts, man.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
he is what he is. The tiger doesn't change its stripes.
No, not at all.